Hi, this is Phyllis again, and I'm cutting material out for a new purse I'm going to call Patience. I'm going to name each of my projects from now on after a fruit of the Spirit. This one's called Patience, and this is the lining material, and this is what the front of the purse is going to look like. Okay, and I have to cut, I've already cut this out, as you can see, and here's what we have to do. I have to cut the pocket first, and it has to be 2 pieces, 8 by 14 and a fourth. That's because we're going to have a pocket on the outside on each side of the purse, and then the outside has to measure 12 and 5/8 by 14 and a fourth, and the liner also 12 and 5/8 by 14 and a fourth. And you're interfacing. This sewist, she always likes to cut her interfacing smaller. I think it keeps the seams from getting too thick. So this is what I'm going to be cutting out today. I've already cut out the liner, and I've already cut this out. And so I'm going to show you how to prepare a piece of material to cut. This is 1 yard, not quite a yard. It looks like they skipped me by about 1/4 of an inch, because no, they skipped me by 1/2 an inch, but that's okay. I've already cut this. I cut this to straighten it up. See, when you get your material, you have to straighten it yourself. And I just wanted to make this yard of material straight. I ironed it as flat as I could. The cheaper materials, they're going to come all folded up, and you're going to have lots of wrinkles in it. But you don't need anything. You actually need cheaper materials for your liner, because they're usually stouter and less delicate, I guess is the word I'm thinking for. So what I'm doing here is I'm lining this up according to this end, because I've already straightened this side. And you have to make assumptions. So I have to assume that this fold is perfectly straight. And this is what we're going to go with. Whether this is straight or not, we're going to square it up. I already squared this in. And to square this in, see how this is not lined up? That's okay. We're going to square it all up. We're going to cut this one off here at 35, so we're really going to end up with 35 inches. But we won't need that much. I will need to have it's going to take 2 pieces of this liner, because it only came in 1 yard squares, and as you saw, it wasn't a full yard. Okay, so here we go. And the reason I used the word patience to title this, okay, before I talk anymore, I want to show you something. I have to square this up. The easiest way to do this is to fold it. Now you can do this if you have a small piece of material. I usually buy my material in bolts. If I find something I like, I know I gotta buy a lot of it, because I am going to be so sorry when I run out. And when I do run out and go back to buy more, guess what? They're going to increase the price on me, because everything goes up. All right, now look at this. I'm checking the edges. You have to check the edges, make sure all your edges are straight. Making sure your fold is straight. Now, what I have here, I can line this up and see. I know this doesn't even look straight, but I'm going to make it straight. I'm just going to cut this off. It looks like I'm going to have to cut off. That's the salvage here. That's the salvage there. I'm going to have to cut it off right here. Yeah, right there. Just to make sure I've got all of it cut out. Right here. So now this is well, I can't tell you how many inches this is. But once I get this squared off, then I can start cutting my material. Okay. This is 4 layers. Can't do it quite so easily. Oh boy. Come on. Woohoo. I save all my scraps. I use them to stuff in dog beds. If anybody needs a pet bed, I really like making pet beds. Just leave me a comment. And I know some of you left comments about wanting particular things that were a little bit out of my reach, but I haven't forgotten. Okay, this is squared up. What I need is 12 5/8 by 14. Okay, it looks to me, since 14 is my longest edge, I like to use it. I like to cut the long piece, if it's not a directional material. I like to cut the long piece out of this end, and the shorter dimensions cut this way. So I'm going to take the shorter dimension, the 12 and 5. I'm going to take the 12 and 5/8, and then I'll cut the 14 and 1/4 off of that. I've got, this is doubled layered, so I'm going to be cutting 2 of them. So I cut my 12 and 5/8, and I need one for the front and one for the back. 12 and 5/8 is 1/8 past the halfway mark. And the reason these are such odd is because they think in terms of centimeters, and I'm trying to think in terms of the king's thumb length or something. I don't know, some crazy measurements they used for the standard. Whoop. You know, like the old adage, rule of thumb, they literally did use their thumbs for rulers. I don't know why I can't separate that. I have to change my roller, my cutter again. Boy, I must be really rough on my cutters. Now, I'm not going to get rid of this because this was 12 and 5/8. This one has to be, I have to have the, no, I don't do I don't have to cut a pocket out of this. I'm sorry. Okay, so I have to cut another one because this is for this purse and this is for that one. But I'm not through cutting it because it's 12 and 5/8. It's got to be cut this way now. And to see how I do this, this is the fold. I don't cut it off the fold. I save the fold there so that when I cut this, let me just go ahead and show you. Let me show you. This has to be 14 and 1/4. Okay. 14 and 1/4. I'm just squaring it up. You gotta have it square. 14 1/4. And check this out. I'll show you what I'm talking about, leaving the excess on the fold. That way you get a bigger piece of material to work with for something else. All right, watch this. Oh, all right. I remember when I had this problem before, and it was so embarrassing. Okay, now, this is the piece for my purse. This is the piece I cut off of it. And see, I've got all this. If I had done it the other way, I would have had 2 pieces this size, and I would have had to cut that fold to separate them. Now this just goes into my bin. All right, so I have done it. I have to do it again because I've got 2 of them I've got to cut out. But there you go. I've cut out the liner and my purse material, the front. See what I mean? This is so light and so delicate, and this is kind of stiff. And if you want to line your purse with something a little sturdier like this. All right, that's an introduction to my purse called Patience. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to know the next step, and keep the commandments and be the bride. I love you.